Yeah. Hey.
Mariappan Prabhuji, will you
Yeah, I
come?
am here. I am here.
Prabhuji, you will continue?
Yeah, I'll start from the beginning, Mataji.
No need, Prabhuji. From till where we stopped yesterday, when he was satisfied to see the chivalry. When Maharaja Yudhishthira was disappointed, from there you can read.
Okay.
We'll start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yatkripa Tamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Chaitanyamishwaram Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Tat Sat Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining Bhagavatam discussion Monday to Thursday. So it's wonderful to read Bhagavatam on daily basis and at least to try to imbibe something in our life. So today we're going to read Sloka 21, Prabhu, 20.
21, Prabhuji.
21, okay.
Yeah. Shall I read?
Purport.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada J.
Jai. Want to see the translation?
Shall I start from the beginning, Prabhuji?
Wherever you stopped yesterday, you can continue.
About 3-4 paragraphs completed, Prabhuji.
In the purport, huh?
Purport.
Okay.
For your understanding, if I read from the beginning, it is better, no?
Okay, sure. Okay. Okay, start translation purport.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada J. Amongst great bowmen, this child will be as good as Arjuna. He will be as irresistible as fire and as unsurpassable as the ocean. Purport. In history, there are two Arjunas. One is Kartaviraya Arjuna, the king of Haihaya, and the other is the grandfather of the child. Both the Arjunas are famous for their bowmanship, and the child Parikshit is foretold to be equal to both of them, particularly in fighting. A short description of the Pandava Arjuna is given below. Pandava Arjuna, the great hero of Bhagavad Gita. He is the Kshatriya son of Maharaja Pandu. Queen Kunti Devi could call for any one of the demigods, and thus she called Indra, and Arjuna was born by him. Arjuna is therefore a plenary part of heavenly King Indra. He was born in the month of Falguna, February, March, and therefore he is also called Falguni. When he appeared as the son of Kunti, his future greatness was proclaimed by air messages, and all the important personalities from different parts of the universe, such as the demigods, the Gandharvas, the Adityas from the sun globe, the Rudras, the Vasus, the Nagas, the different rishis, sages of importance, and the Apsaras, the society girls of heaven, and all attended the ceremony. The Apsaras pleased everyone by their heavenly dances and songs. Vasudeva, the father of Lord Krishna and the maternal uncle of Arjuna, sent his priest representative Kashyapa to purify Arjuna by all the prescribed samskaras or reformatory processes. His samskara of being given a name was performed in the presence of the rishis, residents of Satsranga. He married 4 wives: Draupadi, Subhatra, Chitrangada, and Ulupi, from whom he got 4 sons of the names Shrutrakriti, Abhimanyu, Bahurvahana, and Iravan, respectively. During his student life, he was entrusted to study under the great professor Dronacharya along with other Pandavas and the Kurus. But he excelled everyone by his studious intensity, and Dronacharya was especially attracted by his disciplinary affection. Dronacharya accepted him as a first-grade scholar and loved heartily to bestow upon him all the blessings of military science. he was so ardent a student that he used to practice bowmanship even at night, and for all these reasons, Professor Dronacharya was determined to make him the topmost bowman of the world. He passed very brilliantly the examination in piercing the target, and Dronacharya was very pleased. Royal families at the Manipur and Tripura are descendants of Arjuna's son
Babruwahana.
Babruwahana. Arjuna saved Dronacharya from the attack of a crocodile, and the Acharya, being pleased with him, rewarded him with a weapon of the name Brahmastra.
Brahmastra.
Brahmastra. Maharaja Drupada was inimical towards Dronacharya, and thus when he attacked Acharya, Arjuna got him arrested and brought him before Dronacharya. He besieged a city of the name Ahichatra, belonging to Maharaja Drupada, and after taking it over, he gave it to Dronacharya. The confidential treatment of the weapon Brahmastra was explained to Arjuna, and Dronacharya was promised by Arjuna that he would use the weapon if necessary when he, Dronacharya, personally became an enemy of Arjuna. By this, the Acharya forecasted the future battle of Kurukshetra, in which Dronacharya was on the opposite side. Maharaja Drupada, although defeated by Arjuna on behalf of his professor Dronacharya, decided to hand over his daughter Draupadi to his young combatant, but he was disappointed when he heard the false news of Arjuna's death in the fire of a Shalak house intrigued by Duryodhana. He therefore arranged for Draupadi's personal selection of a groom who could pierce the eye of a fish hanging on the ceiling. This trick was especially made because only Arjuna could do it, and he was successful in his desire to hand over his equally worthy daughter to Arjuna. Arjuna's brothers at, were at that time living incognito under agreement with Duryodhana, and Arjuna and his brothers attended the meeting of Draupadi's selection in the dress of Brahmanas. When all the Kshatriya kings assembled saw that poor Brahmana had been garlanded by Draupadi for her lord, Sri Krishna disclosed his identity to Balrama. He met Ulupi at Haridwar, and he was attracted by a girl belonging to Nagaloka, and thus Iravan was born. Similarly, he met Chitrangada, a daughter of king of Manipura, and thus Babhruvana was born. Lord Sri Krishna made a plan to help Arjuna to kidnap Subhadra, sister of Sri Krishna, because Baldeva was inclined to hand over her to Duryodhana. Yudhishthira also agreed with Krishna, and thus Subhadra was taken by force by Arjuna and then married to him. Subhadra's son is Abhimanyu, the father of Parikshit Maharaja, the posthumous child. Arjuna satisfied the fire god by setting fire to the Kandava forest, and thus the fire god gave him one weapon. Indra was angry when the fire was set in the Kandava forest, and thus Indra, assisted by all other demigods, began fighting with Arjuna for his great challenge. They were defeated by Arjuna, and Indradeva returned his heavenly kingdom. Arjuna also promised all protection to, to one Mayasura. The later presented him one valuable conch shell celebrated as the Devadatta. Similarly, he received many other valuable weapons from Indradeva when he was satisfied to see his uh, chivalry. When Maharaja Yudhishthira was disappointed in defeating the king of Megadha, Jarasandha, it was Arjuna only who gave King Yudhishthira all kinds of assurances, and thus Arjuna, Bhima, and Lord Krishna started for Megadha to kill Jarasandha. When he went out to bring all other kings of the world under the subjection of Pandavas, as was usual after coronation of every emperor, he conquered the country named Kalinda and bought in subjugation King Bhagavatam. Then he traveled through countries like Antagiri, Ulukpur, and Modapur, and brought under subjugation all the rulers. Sometimes he underwent severe types of penances, and later on he was rewarded by Indradeva. Lord Shiva also wanted to try the strength of Arjuna, and in the form of an aborigine, Lord Shiva met him. There was a great fight between the two, and at last Lord Shiva was satisfied with him and disclosed his identity. Arjuna prayed to the Lord in all the humbleness, and the Lord, being pleased with him, presented him the Pasupata weapon. He acquired many other important weapons from different demigods. He received Dandastra from Yamaraja, Pasastra from Varuna, and Antardana Astra from Kuvera, the treasure of the heavenly kingdom. Indra wanted him to come to the heavenly kingdom, the Indraloka planet beyond the moon planet. In that planet, he was cordially received by the local residents, and he was awarded reception in the heavenly parliament of Indradeva. Then he met Indradeva, who not only presented him with his Vajra weapon, but also taught him the military and musical science as used in the heavenly planet. In one sense, Indra is the real father of Arjuna, and therefore, indirectly, he wanted to entertain Arjuna with the famous society girl of heaven, Urvashi. They celebrated this beauty. The society girls of heaven are lusty, and Urvashi was very eager to contact Arjuna, the strongest human being. She met him in his room and expressed her desires, but Arjuna sustained his impeccable character by closing his eyes before Urvashi, addressing her as mother of Kuru dynasty and placing her in the category of his mother Kunti Madri and Sachi Devi, wife of Indradeva. Disappointed, Urvashi cursed Arjuna and left. In the heavenly planet, he also met the great celebrated ascetic Lomasa and uh, prayed to him for the protection of Maharaja Yudhishthira. When his inimical cousin Duryodhana was under the clutches of the Gandharvas, he wanted to save him and requested Gandharvas to release Duryodhana. But the Gandharvas refused, and thus he fought with them and got Duryodhana released. When all the Pandavas lived incognito, he presented himself in the court of King Virata as a eunuch and was employed as the musical teacher of Uttara, his future daughter-in-law, and was known in the Virata court as Branala. As Branala, he fought on behalf of Uttara, the son of King Virata, and thus defeated the Kurus in the fight incognito. His secret weapons were safely kept in the custody of Somi tree, and he ordered Uttara to get them back. He identified and his brothers' identity were later on disclosed to Uttara. Dronacharya was informed of Arjuna's presence in the fight of Kurus and the Viratas. Later on, battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna killed many great generals like Karna and others. After the battle of Kurukshetra, he punished Ashwatthama, who had killed all the 5 sons of Draupadi. Then all the brothers went to Bhishma Deva. It is due to Arjuna only the great philosophical discourses of the Bhagavad Gita were again spoken by the Lord on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. His wonderful acts on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are vividly described in the Mahabharata. Arjuna was defeated, however, by his son Babruhu
Babruvahana.
Babruvahana at Manipura and fell unconscious when Ulupi saved him. After the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the message was brought by Arjuna to Maharaja Yudhishthira. Again, Arjuna visited Dwaraka, and all the widow wives of Lord Krishna lamented before him. He took them all in the presence of Vasudeva and pacified all of them. Later on, when Vasudeva passed away, he performed his funeral ceremony in the absence of Krishna. While Arjuna was taking all the wives of Krishna to Indraprastha, he was attacked on the way and he could not protect the ladies in his custody. At last, advised by Vyasadeva, all the brothers headed for Mahaprasthan. On the way, at the request of his brother, he gave up all important weapons as useless and he dropped them all in the water. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Wonderful. Very, very elaborate purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, here Parishit Maharaj qualities been explained, and he is going to be like Arjuna, and he will be irresistible as fire and unsurpassable as ocean. So the great qualities of Parishit Maharaj. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains the two Arjunas, Krantivira Arjuna and Pandava Arjuna. Krantivira Arjuna was there even Satyayuga. When Ravana came, there was one pastime how Krantivira Arjuna easily defeated Ravana. Just, I think Ravana was doing some puja. So Krantivira Arjuna stopped the river through just his hand, like a big dam kind of thing. And when Ravana was performing his puja, he just lifted his hand. So whole water came and washed away, even including Ravana was washed away. So that was the power of Krantivira Arjuna. He could build such a dam through just by his hand. So similarly, the Pandavas Arjuna. So this is the Pandavas Arjuna's explanations. Srila Prabhupada gives very, very elaborate. Main contribution is Bhagavad Gita. Because of Arjuna, we have Bhagavad Gita today. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna in that the battlefield through Arjuna, so that today we can read and relish Bhagavad Gita. So talking about the Pandava Arjuna's various aspects, Prabhupada talks about the various marriages he has done. And Prabhupada also talks about how the Arjuna's birth and samskara has been done. The various samskaras, mainly the Garbhadana samskara, then Janma samskaras, various samskaras Prabhupada talks about here. Again, as a practice devotees, we should focus on these samskaras, because samskaras are done properly as per Shastra, purifies our existence, and that helps to progress in the bhakti so nicely. Because today in the society, since we are lost, we are not doing these samskaras, the people live like animals. There is no proper etiquette, there is no proper behavior, there is no proper system of living. So these samskaras helps us to have a proper understanding why, what, where, all those things understood. And Prabhupada talks about his 4 wives whom married is Draupadi, Subhadra, Chitrangada, and Ulupi. We all know Draupadi was not just Pandavas, so Arjuna, because even though Arjuna won, when Arjuna brought Draupadi, they just said, I think Kunti Maharani, we have a gift for you, something. So Kunti Maharani said, all of you share equally. That's what I think Kunti Maharani said. Because of that, Draupadi had to be the wife of each Pandava one year, like that it goes. Then Arjuna married Subhadra, Krishna's sister. There also Prabhupada talks about Balram was keen on getting Subhadra married to Duryodhana. So Krishna had to make a plan, somehow kidnap Subhadra. Otherwise, she would have married to Duryodhana. So all this happens here, and also talks about Chitrangada and Ulupi, and their 4 sons from the respective wives. Talks about Abhimanyu, Babruahana, and Airavan. So all the 4 sons been mentioned, and also talks about these qualities. He was ardent student and practiced bowmanship. So among all the Kauravas and Pandavas, Arjuna was the greatest, archer and very nice student of Dronacharya. So all these things have been explained here, and also talks about the fight between Maharaja Drupada and Dronacharya, because Drupada and Dronacharya were classmates, and as a childhood friend, so Dronacharya had Drupada had told Dronacharya that when I become king, I'll give you half kingdom. But Dronacharya somehow forgot. But later, Dronacharya Brahmana, so he had no income. He had a son, Ashwathama. So even you saw poverty that Dronacharya did not had even a cow who can get some milk for Ashwathama. So in the poverty, he comes to Drupada, asking for some help. So Drupada actually insulted him. I mean, when Dronacharya said, we are friends, or I'm your friend, he said, what kind of a friend you are? You are a poor Brahmana. I'm a great king. How can we be friend? So he insulted him. So because of the insult, Dronacharya wanted to take revenge. So with the help of Arjuna, Drupada was defeated. Of course, later Drupada performs, Yagya, and he gets a son who is in turn kills Dronacharya. So this happens, and also talks about the Drupada wanted Draupadi to be married to Arjuna, but when Duryodhana arranged that house of what is that? All the gums or candles kind of thing. So, and Duryodhana literally put a fire, thinking that all the Pandavas inside die. But somehow Vidura gave a clues to Yudhishthira. So because of the Vidura's clue, and Pandavas escaped. So Pandavas did not die. But because the whole house was burned, there was a news that Pandavas killed. So Drupada thought Arjuna was killed. So he arranged a Swayamvara for Draupadi. He knew if Arjuna is alive, he will come. So by the time Arjuna and other brothers comes in as a disguise as a Brahmanas, in that they win the hands of Draupadi. So Arjuna kind of wins Draupadi in that. So that is a point is mentioned here, and he met with Ulupi in Haridwar. That's also explained here. Yeah. So it's also mentioned how he helped, Mayasura, and then how he killed Jarasandha. Killing Jarasandha is another great. Even though Arjuna had a promise that if by evening, if I don't kill Jarasandha, I will commit suicide, jumping on the fire. So somehow Duryodhana hid Jarasandha. So Arjuna could not kill him. So, but what Krishna does, that Krishna with the Sudarshan Chakra, it takes, chakra in covering to sun god. So when the sun god is covered, so everybody thought it is sunset happened, because normally war at the sunset they'll stop. So when the sunset happened, so Duryodhana and Jarasandha thought, yeah, now sunset happened. Now Arjuna cannot kill. So Arjuna has to die now, because Arjuna has promised that if I by before sunset, if I don't kill Jarasandha, I will die. So, but when Jarasandha came out, Krishna removed his Sudarshan Chakra. There was day-night, day-light. So it was not night. It was not the sunset. So that's the time Krishna says, Arjuna, now, come on, shoot him, kill him. That's how Jarasandha was killed. So like that, there are so many examples given how different weapons he got from Indra. Indra was his father, because Kunti Devi had a boon from Durvasa Muni. So the boon was that the mantra was that Durvasa gave. With that chanting the mantra, Kunti could invite any devata and have a child from there. So as a small child, she just wanted to test whether this mantra works or not. So she called sun god. In that, Karna was born. Since she was not married, so she left that child, Karna. Of course, later son was taken care by the fisherman, and we know the Karna's pastime. Later, she married to Pandu, and then with the understanding of the Pandu, she invited Yamaraj. From Yamaraj, Yudhishthira was born. Vayu, Bhima was born. From Indra, Arjuna was born. And the same mantra was given to Madri. Madri invited Ashwini Kumaras. With that, Nakula Sahadeva was born. So these are the 5 Pandavas. And Indra could go to the Indraloka, Arjuna could go to Indraloka, and he had a good treatment from Indra. And there is example Urvashi here, how Urvashi wanted the association of Arjuna. Arjuna refused and she cursed. And then he become acted like a eunuch as in Brahmanala. And there he fights against as on behalf of Uttara. So Uttara Kumara, that's the pastime is there. So Prabhupada talks about how Bhagavad Gita was given. And finally, Prabhupada talks about while Arjuna was taking all the wives of Krishna to Indraprastha, he was attacked one way by the hunter. So this is the important lesson we need to understand here. How, Arjuna had gone to Dwaraka. So long time, Arjuna did not return. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was so anxious why Arjuna has not returned. Finally, when Arjuna came, Yudhishthira asked Arjuna, what happened, my dear brother? Why so long took? That's the time Arjuna says, my dear brother, I lost everything. I thought I'm the great warrior. I thought I'm Ghandivadhari, but I'm nothing because Krishna is no more. Krishna has left this planet. As soon as Krishna left the planet, my all energies are gone, all powers are gone. And just now, the ordinary, a single hunter came back and attacked and kidnapped all the wives of Krishna. So I'm useless now because of Krishna's presence not there. Of course, there is a lesson behind this pastime is that when there is no Krishna, our strength is also zero. So that's why we should be very, very careful on that. And also, there is a reason for this to happen. So there was a reason that I think these queens had sometime offended a great rishi. A rishi had a curse that you will be kidnapped by a hunter. So that a curse given. Now, these wives of Krishna, they are not ordinary. So they are the devotees of Krishna. They cannot be kidnapped by any ordinary person. So what Krishna did that, Krishna took the form of a hunter He himself came in front of Arjuna as a hunter and defeated Arjuna and kidnapped his own wives, actually. So, but the lesson for us that where there's no Krishna, the defeat is guaranteed. So like this, there are a lot of pastimes here. I think quite a lot is there. So we'll stop here. The devotees can share some thoughts, some comments, if any. Yeah, please go ahead. Who want to start? Archana Mataji, you want to say anything? Lakshmi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Because of Arjuna, now we are able to read, relish Bhagavad Gita. And then about samskaras. All the samskaras are very important. And we should follow all the samskaras. At least from beginning, from that Garbhadana and naming ceremony. From that we should start. After that, all the samskaras should be followed by all. And then it helps us to understand everything about the Lord. And then Arjuna was useless after Krishna left. It is given here. So what to say? So Veera, Dheera, Parakrama, everything he has. But he became useless after Krishna's departure. So this purport is very, 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 very nice, Prabhuji. So again and again we should read this. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Today I came to know about there are two Arjunas, and that Krantivira Arjuna and Pandava Arjuna. Even Krantivira Arjuna is also equally powerful like Pandava Arjuna. And glories of Arjuna, I understand from this his background, how he came, how his incarnation and all I am able to understand, and how he was grown up with Dronacharya's seasoning, and how training very undefeatable in the entire universe. He was undefeatable this thing warrior, and even though he is undefeatable warrior, and with all powerful weapons provided by many eminent demigods, everything became useless when Lord Krishna, Supreme Lord Krishna, disappeared from here, from this material world. So this is a lesson. We should not lose Krishna at any point of our life. I must always retain Krishna as a part of my life, and I should never. I'm not afford to lose Krishna. That much I can understand, probably. It is very essential. It is very essential to safeguard with anything, everything. I must safeguard Krishna in my life. Otherwise, I'll become zero. That is my understanding. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Kumar Shankar Prabhu, don't say anything.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Nothing, Prabhuji, but one thing is that Arjuna has and Krishna had given this Bhagavata to us, so we should actually read Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji. That's it. You can understand on that.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so thank you all for joining. We'll stop here. We'll see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Dharat Pranam. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण।